Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, and everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. I'm Chris Burdick. That's Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir.
Let them know what they're in for.
We'll get into some NFL news, some headlines. There is some interesting interviews already scheduled. Trae Young finally gets traded. Some people get popped for the Shador house break-in. We'll get into that and much, much more. We'll have comedian Anthony joining us at 8 o'clock. And then we'll run down the college and NFL playoffs with our boy, Bolt Brady, making you some cash money. You can call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
Are we going to do our picks today or tomorrow for the playoffs?
Could probably do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's what I was thinking as well. Since we don't have Thursday night football, there's no reason to do it a little bit early. There's a whole bunch to talk about as well. Jerry Jones came out yesterday and says he wants to retire with the most rings in the NFL.
Who doesn't?
Jerry, you do know how many you're behind, right?
Yeah, right.
Hey,
you better take care of yourself.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like the other guys have just doubled the amount you have or anything.
How many is he away?
He is three. He would need
three.
Four. He would need four to take the lead. He'd need Robert Kraft and the Steelers owners, the Rooney family, and all the rest have 6. So he would need 4 more in a span of, well,
and hope they don't add another one this year.
Exactly. So
good luck.
We'll see. We will see as the season continues because the playoffs are right around the corner. And just like Sparky said, the 2 aforementioned teams outside of the Cowboys are in the playoffs. One highly doubtful to make the Super Bowl. One has a little more potential than the other, but we still have to see what they look like in a playoff format. So we'll see what happens. Let's talk about this Trae Young trade, though, because we have been brewing on this for weeks, and we've been talking to our guy Snacks about it on Mondays. Where was Trae Young going to be sent? He's not somebody that has been well known to really fit with other star players very well. And the Washington Wizards kind of make sense to me. When I heard the news yesterday as I was leaving here last night and said, okay, Trae Young finally found a trade partner. Who would that be? Yeah, Washington makes sense. Washington makes a lot of sense. And for CJ McCollum and forward Corey Kispert, I think this is a pretty even trade for both sides, although, again, not star power-wise. The Washington Wizards are getting a star player while the Hawks are getting 2 bench players. But at the same time, you offload a lot of money if you're Atlanta. You offload a player that really has been brewing that he doesn't feel like playing there, or at least we all have started to see that he doesn't want to play there anymore. And at this point, if it wasn't the Wizards, I mean, I can't think of any star or team with a star player trading for Trae Young because of what I said at the beginning of this, which is he doesn't play well with others. And it's not because of an attitude situation. It's just style of play. I think that he is just an ISO ball player, and it's hard to play with other star players when you play like that. So what's your thoughts on this whole thing, my friend?
Kind of the same thing. I was thinking, they're not going to find a partner. And then late yesterday afternoon, I heard, okay, well, he's kind of pushed. Okay, I'll go to Washington. I'll do that. And shortly after that, they made the trade official. So, I mean, good luck. And I'm happy that they were able to get rid of what seemed like a wet blanket for that team. So right. I'm happy that it finally happened.
And Washington has been desperately looking for a new face of the franchise since the John Wall days. They really haven't found a guy to come in and fix all of their star woes. And I mean, again, this is a franchise that really hasn't had a lot of success in their tenure in the NBA as a whole. They've had some great guards, though, lead the organization. You think about Gilbert Arenas. I mean, you think about John Wall, like I just talked about. He could be the next in line to be that next guy to really come in and be that guard for the Wizards and maybe give them some sort of relevancy here in the season. It's going to be a long, long, long road to make that happen. But hey, the East is weaker this year than I could say a lot of other years in the past. So it couldn't be out of the realm of possibility. And on the opposite side of this, one star that we thought was going to be traded or at least be part of potentially a trade for Trae Young was Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks, because it has been rumored for the past, Sparky, year, 2 years that he would be on his way out if Milwaukee didn't figure out some sort of successful way to play basketball and get back into a playoff
It's
format.
been a while.
It has been and at this point right now, he was asked yesterday what is going on with that. Has he asked for a trade from Milwaukee? And Giannis has come out and said he will never ask Milwaukee to trade him. And not necessarily in a way that he wants to continue playing there, but in a sense of he's not that kind of player. He's
Which I
not
could
going to
see.
demand it.
I could see that.
So I could too, but does this hurt his chances of potentially being moved off of in that way? Obviously, as a free agent, you can do whatever you want. You could leave. But in my opinion, although that's nice to have as if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan and you're part of the organization, because your star player is never going to demand out. But at the same time, are you as an organization going to take the business route of this and get something for that player? Because at this point, if you don't trade him and he goes into free agency, you're out. You don't get anything for this. And this is an opportunity for you guys to gain much needed draft stock to rebuild this franchise.
It's a tough situation to be in when you're your star player, you're the face of your team.
And you want to do right by him. You
Of
don't want to
course.
just throw him away.
And you don't want to
feel
use
he
him
wasn't
like, hey, we're just
valued.
going to get what we can out of you.
Right.
And, a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about, doing some big trades before the deadline to make sure he was happy and he wasn't going to go anywhere. I still think he's probably just going to just stay.
Do you think that there's any trade that Milwaukee can possibly make to maybe keep him interested in staying there? Because again, Trae Young was one of those situations, but as we saw with the Damian Lillard attempt or experiment that they had not too long ago, that didn't really work out great. But I guess you could chalk that up to injuries.
Oh yeah, that one backfired.
Is there really anybody that Milwaukee could target to, one, bring over to help Giannis take this team back to a playoff or at least a play-in situation, and two, keep him there? Because in my opinion, although yes, he's a nice guy and you're wanting to do right by your star player, you're not wanting to just throw him away and, like I said earlier, show that he wasn't valued to you at all, which I don't think would be what they want to send, but in a way, trading your star player away could have that, that subplot, as it were. But at the same time, I just don't know if he's going to stay. If you give him that opportunity to let his contract run out and he wants to, have one more year of successful basketball before he inevitably goes to Greece and ends his career there, because that's what he's vocally said he wants to do, then you're out. You don't get anything for this. And although you look nice as the good old organization that, was loyal to your player, you're also shooting yourself in the foot majorly here, because you can easily get Spark 1-2 first round draft picks for Giannis.
I would think a couple.
At least.
I would think a couple. And I just think Milwaukee, the type of franchise they are, I just think they're going to let him play it out.
Then again, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But I just can't think of any superstar or star in general that he could pair up with.
Nobody just jumps out. I'm like, yeah, that would probably work.
It seems like most of the star players in the NBA outside of Trae Young, who has now moved, were pretty content or happy with where they're at. Maybe you get a trade with Cleveland for Darius Garland. I know that's been rumored for the last couple of weeks. I hope that doesn't happen because I love that kid. But it could be a possibility. But you got to make a move. You got to make something happen before the trade deadline to actually give Giannis a reason to stick around for the rest of his career in the NBA, as it were. Because again, he was very vocal during the offseason saying, I will be returning to Greece for my final years of my career to finish here, where he probably will average about 60 points and 30 rebounds.
Probably.
If I'm being honest, he'll be their Wilt Chamberlain, if I'm being completely honest. But it might be fun to watch. Who knows? The more and more I thought about this after the trade, the more I was like, okay, now where's Giannis going to go? How's this thing with Giannis going to end up? And I agree with you. The more I thought about it, the more I was saying he may not go anywhere, because the team that was really linked to take him, again, as you heard on this show a couple months ago by our guy Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, the Hawks were a possibility. There was a lot of things that kind of tied it together. Now, granted, a lot had to do with the draft picks that the Hawks had, or the Milwaukee Bucks had rather, and them wanting to trade them back and all that type of stuff. But it kind of made sense to pair him up with Trae Young in Atlanta and see what happens. See if they can make something happen down there.
I really liked the rumors of him going to Chicago,
Yep.
obviously, or
Well,
even the New York Knicks.
Miami, I
But
think would be a cool one for
as
him
the
as
Knicks
well.
came out of recently said they think that they have the championship built team already, and they don't feel that they will be aggressive before the
Right.
deadline. So that I crossed them out. I don't think Chicago's going to do anything like usual. I mean,
And honestly, watching that game last night, because I did get to watch a little bit
oh
of the
my
Pistons Bulls
gosh.
game. Both teams look like they are on the upward track, one much faster than
Oh
the
yeah.
other, to be fair.
Uh-huh.
But watching the Pistons pull it off without their two top guards and have Isaiah Stewart drop 30 on your head. Eeh,
Yeah, it was
oof,
ugly.
eeh.
It was ugly.
I like you, Sparky. I mean, I'm a Cavs fan. I will forever be a Cavaliers fan. But basketball, in my opinion, I know a lot of people say basketball is better when the Knicks are good. I personally think basketball is better when the Bulls are good.
Me too,
When
and
the
it's been so damn long.
when the Bulls are the top team, I think basketball reaches a new level of excitement because everybody obviously just remembers the years with Jordan, and then we rehash all of that.
The D
But
Rose
yeah, the
years.
D Rose years,
And I'm
exactly, with him and
surprised. I
Joakim
mean,
Noah.
the way the Sixers are playing right now too.
All they needed was a guy to come in and light it up, really, because Joel Embiid has been on the downward track with all of these injuries and stuff. If he could even stay on the court, and they have desperately needed somebody to come in at a guard position and run it, and they've finally found their guy. Because even with VJ Edgecombe as well, who's been fantastic, but they have found a pairing now that they could really ride with. And I think Philadelphia is back in some sort of playoff fashion. Can they make it to the finals? I honestly can't say yet. I think that they need a couple years to brew and really mature and figure this out. Maybe grab one or two more pieces. But with, like I was saying about the Wizards, with the East being so weak this year, this could be one of those years where you see them shock a lot of people, maybe knock out some people like the Celtics, or a team that everybody sees as a more pillar in the Eastern Conference, as it were. But I genuinely think the Sixers might be back, and it's not even because of Joel Embiid. That's pretty crazy when you sit down and think about it, because that's another guy we were sitting there thinking maybe could be moved at some point a couple years ago, and then he faded off because of the injuries, and so did the trade rumors, and now he's just sitting there as the veteran leader of this team, really, and kind of trying to help facilitate how good these guards can be in their future. And honestly, it might work out better for him in his career just to ride it with the Sixers for the rest of his career, just like we were talking about with Giannis. Who knows? Let's take a break real quick. We got a ton of stuff to talk about in the world of football on the other side. Rasheed Rice's ex-girlfriend has come out with some pictures alleging some abuse, which 2 years in a row for Rasheed Rice with some bad situations here. I don't know how you dodge a lot of this stuff, especially being a professional athlete. I know there's always going to be people coming for your money or coming for whatever. And I'm not saying that's what this lady is doing. All of this is alleged, and we'll see what actually happens. But it also sounds like the Kansas City Chiefs are well aware that this is a thing and have been aware. So there might be more to this than we realize right now. So we'll let you know what everything that we know on the other side of the break. Plus, we'll get into that Jerry Jones conversation. Can he catch up to Robert Kraft and the Rooney family and everybody else before he inevitably gives up his seat as the owner of the Cowboys? I say that with cringe because God only knows how long that's going to be. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. You know, I've noticed we haven't been giving people their morning blech lately, but that's because it comes after the show.
Yeah.
Because now you get Blech and Abdallah right after us.
Is that what it's called?
Blech and Abdallah, I think. I'm just going to call him Blech because that's B-L-E-C-K, Blech.
And the score just reported the Anthony Edwards. No, Anthony
Davis. I was like, what?
Anthony Davis is a prime target for the Hawks.
I thought we were breaking some news right now. I was like, Anthony Edwards, they're done with him? What? Please, Cleveland.
I know we were going to get into some coaching stuff, but if you're not following us on Instagram, Facebook, and all that, you should, because we usually report these things seconds after they are reported. And
along with some other really fun stuff that you guys will enjoy. We do like to dabble into a lot of the entertainment stuff as well. We'll get our guy Rick Bentley back in here from KGET 17 very shortly to have another entertainment segment, as there's some great movies coming. But I saw one that you made me laugh with, Sparky, yesterday that I forgot to highlight. But I don't know where you found that AI Stranger Things in the ghetto GTA video. Yeah, that was awesome.
I was laughing my ass off this morning because that coaching video you posted with them all sitting in the room.
Oh God, I cannot remember that guy's
name. Can you imagine if Dan Campbell, which I know it's not going to happen.
Dan Campbell, look, man, that's never going to happen. They're never going to let that guy go.
I thought the same thing in Miami.
But see, I don't know. When we talk about a coach that came in and literally changed the culture, I mean, you can argue that guys before Tomlin really created the Pittsburgh culture, but Tomlin has kept that culture going. If you can't find a coach that could keep the culture going, it's hard to really move off the guy you have.
I thought the same thing with the Raiders and Gruden.
Right.
I was like, what? And then the Cars post a video this yesterday talking about Gruden posting a Raiders flag and the world blew up in Raider Nation. I don't see it happening. If anybody's going to do it, Brady would be able to pull it.
If there's one team that could pull off bringing Gruden back to the NFL, it would be the Raiders. It would be Mark Davis and the Raiders. And honestly, that might be the only way they remove the blacklisting or whatever you want to call it off of Gruden, because that's what it is. Let's be completely honest of what this is. It's just like the Colin Kaepernick situation. When they find a reason to blacklist you, you will not work in the NFL ever again until they decide to remove it. And
if anybody could do it,
it would be Mark Davis. It really would.
It would be the golden boy. And Brady would be able to pull those strings.
And who wouldn't be happy to see that, though?
Me,
to be honest. Like, you wouldn't want to see that?
No, I want Gruden in Miami.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
How much love he gives.
But see,
Miami?
Here's the thing. That might be the only way you get Gruden back in Miami. I should say back in Miami. But that's maybe the only way is we allow the Raiders to rehire him, and then that allows every other owner to sit there and say, well, Mark did it, so we can do it now too.
Yeah. And I think if the Raiders are able to get Gruden, he's not going anywhere for a while.
Well, we say that.
I don't see it.
It's the Raiders.
I don't see it.
As much as I love covering the Raiders and honestly appreciate everything that they do for us, it has been an ugly season. And I hope that they can turn it around next season, because there is a fan base that has just starved for some success, and it is the Raider fan base. And at this point, you need to shake this, because I had people texting me and texting into other shows saying that they believe Mark Davis is actually just content with a losing team solely because they're in Vegas. And I've talked about this with friends before. The team moving to Vegas made it a destination city, and I'd argue probably half the season, if not more, that stadium's actually filled up with more of the away team's fans than they are with the home team. And it's solely because everybody looks at it and says, ooh, Vegas trip, that we can end with a Raider game in which my team will most likely win. So, like, people are going to come in droves for that, whether you're a Raider fan or not. So I could kind of see the logic behind that. I really can.
I can see it.
But
I can see it. And there's a lot of teams looking for coaches right now. And now is the fun, exciting time is when you're starting to get the scheduled visits. You know, this morning they announced that the Harbaugh is taking a week to kind of collect himself. The Schefter reported that it's not that he's waiting for a playoff team to either fall out and let their coach go. Because I know yesterday there was a lot of talks about Buffalo, Green Bay. I don't see it, but Schefter did mention that Harbaugh is packing up his house. It's listed. He's trying to move out of Baltimore. So that could be it. I know the Ravens announced that they are interviewing Vance Joseph and Davis Webb, both from Denver, as well as the Titans and Falcons requesting interviews with Robert Saleh, which was an interesting one this morning.
I'm cool with Robert Saleh.
Flores is now lined up to meet with Baltimore.
Yeah,
which would be
a huge signing for them.
Might be able to bring that defensive back to a Baltimore team. There's a lot. I know Bowles confirmed that he's staying in Tampa, which is not too big of a surprise. You called that one.
3 years in a row he won the division. This year he could have made it 4. I know everybody said, "Oh, put the hot seat on him." Let's be honest, man. This year for Tampa Bay, you can chalk up to injuries. Because as much as I didn't believe in them and still don't think they're that good of a football team.
No.
I don't think Carolina is a good football team either, though, to be completely honest with you. But this year, everybody got injured in really bad ways. Again, they played without their top 2 receivers for half the year. Baker was playing on 4 different injuries from what is being reported. And honestly, it didn't mesh well. It really didn't. They started out great. Everybody knew that, but kind of like the Colts, the second half of the year was not. Yeah, it was not favorable.
And the last one I saw this morning was that the Raiders will be interviewing Stefanski this afternoon.
Interesting.
Which might be a good pickup as well.
Again, whoever takes the Raiders job has to be open to the entire rebuild. Just 100% rebuild. You can keep whatever pieces you want. Ashton Genty obviously is a fantastic running back. You have a tight end that's top 5, if not top 3. And honestly, Max Crosby, as much as everybody says he's out, I'd be willing to bet that no sensible coach is going to walk in and say, "That's our best player, get him out of here." You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to try to find a way to keep Max on the team, especially with how vocal he is about wanting to stay a Raider. You don't find players like that very often. You really don't. So I think the Raiders find a way to keep Max Crosby on the team unless they decide we desperately need that draft capital, and then you make some drastic moves, maybe with Detroit to pick up a couple draft picks.
And I know my Dolphins, they need to get a GM before they can get into this whole head coaching, if they're going to keep McDaniel. If not, I know yesterday they announced that they did about 12 Zoom interviews and trimmed them down to 4. So the candidates now include the Chargers assistant GM, Chad Alexander, Packers VP of player personnel, John Eric Sullivan, 49ers director of scouting, Josh Williams, and the interim GM, Champ Bailey.
The John Eric Sullivan one is interesting to me because I watch McAfee a lot, and one of the guys, AJ Hawk, obviously a legend for the Packers, and another guy that's on the show, Ty Schmidt, longtime Packer fan and somebody who's very connected with the team. Both of them, when this guy was mentioned for the job in Miami, very vocal saying, "No, we don't want to lose him." Like, so that might be a very good guy for the job.
That's where it's tough because we don't really know what these positions actually do.
Yeah.
How much hands-on they are with the actual teams or the franchises, or if they're just kind of.
That's why I kind of like to listen out for the guys who have been around these people.
Mm-hmm.
If you can ever hear voices from within the camp or even people in the media who cover these guys a lot, if you hear glowing, reviews about these people, or even like what I just said, when Ty Schmidt and AJ Hawk both say, "Hell no, he's not leaving Green Bay."
That's a good
a good sign. That's like, okay, this is somebody you might want to consider just because he is so coveted by an organization with a history of success. Like, it's different when you're hearing it from a Tennessee Titans thing. You're like, that might just be because they want to continue the rebuild and they think they have something here. But when you hear an organization like the Packers or the Steelers or the Ravens or anybody vocally say, "Hell no, he's not going anywhere." That's a good sign. I think that might be somebody that they really key in on, but at least they lowered it down to 4 picks. And honestly, all I've been hearing this week is people echo exactly what myself and you echoed about this whole Troy and Matt Ryan helping their teams and stuff like that. I don't get it, dude.
No.
I really don't. And a lot of people are starting to say the same thing. We don't understand the gripe on the internet of everybody saying, oh, this is ridiculous. Why are you allowing this? What is the big deal? It really isn't that much of a difference than
I don't
somebody
see a
else
problem
helping.
with those two. I did have like, what the hell are they allowing with Brady?
Right.
But the more I read into it, the more, I mean,
It's a case by case basis every single
I
time.
get it. I mean, it's Brady, so people are either love the guy or they hate the guy.
Right.
But now that he's in a position where he can broadcast, he gets the VIP treatment because he's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think if he can pull Gruden out, then good for them, dude.
Right.
Because I think that's probably the best fit. If not that, maybe Brian Flores. But this Brian Flores to Baltimore, or even Vance Joseph to Baltimore, I think is a good pickup.
Vance Joseph to Baltimore would be nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, and that's what Baltimore should focus on, is figuring out a defensive-minded head coach that can really ramp up this defense to look more like the Ray Lewis days. Because you have the talent. You really do. You have enough there to make it easily the best defense in the league, if not second to the Houston Texans. I mean, so Vance Joseph and Brian Flores would be perfect for that job, in my opinion. You guys have heard me say it all week, though. I think Brian Flores is just the hot commodity this year. He's going to be the one that every team, and now with John Harbaugh, obviously, that everybody's going to be reaching out and saying, hey, come check us out. Come try to see if you can coach this team. I think that certain teams, though, would probably benefit more from somebody else. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say Brian Flores would be a bad fit for certain teams like the Browns or anybody like that, but I just don't think that that's what certain teams should be looking for.
Or looking at Baltimore, because all the way up until late last night, I wasn't really hearing anything about any candidates or any interviews. And the more I was reading, I mean, Robert Saleh.
Love that.
I mean,
Atlanta going for
Brian
Robert
Flores.
Saleh, I'm all for that.
I think all those would be perfect fits for teams with big defenses or young defenses like Atlanta. I mean, Saleh to Atlanta would be awesome.
Well, we talk about this all the time. Outside of John Harbaugh, usually your head coach is either an offensive or defensive-minded guy. John Harbaugh was actually a special teams coordinator for Andy Reid before he got the job. But when it comes to all these teams finding, now we have 7 teams in the NFL that are looking at head coaches and a ton of others that are looking for coordinators. Do you think that there's going to be more offensive-minded coaches hired in this cycle or defensive-minded coaches? Because I personally think there's going to be more offensive-minded coaches this year because there's more teams that need their offense.
That's what I was saying. It's probably a team-by-team type thing. But, I mean, with teams like Atlanta, teams like Baltimore, I think they're going to be defensive-minded. I think I'm still waiting. I mean, because the more I didn't hear anything about like Green Bay. If Green Bay was to wet the bed and lose this weekend, do you think that might be another team with a head coaching vacancy?
We talked about that at the beginning of the year, the possibility of Matt LaFleur being let go just solely because of the lack of success that he has had there in the 7 years he's been the head coach. And that was a talking point for Green Bay coming into the season. I don't think so, though. I think that they'll maybe give him one more year. But if you don't start seeing some drastic success changes for the Packers, if we don't start seeing them win 11, 12 games a season and start winning this division pretty handedly, I wouldn't be surprised if a coaching change is in the future. I just don't think it's this year.
And the other one was, I mean, we've talked about Buffalo, but the other one was, which is surprising, and I think it's more of just the media hates or loves the guy, but another one that they were talking about all over sports media was Philadelphia.
Oh, no.
And Harbaugh. And I was like, I don't see it. I just don't think they're ready to let go of Sirianni. But, hey, I could be way wrong because earlier last season, before the Super Bowl run, I mean, that was the headline in Philly.
Yes, and the only thing that's making me sit here and rack my brain on this is is what they did to Doug Peterson and how they ended that relationship right after a Super Bowl win. So has Philadelphia done this in the past, especially the recent past? Absolutely. But it's like I've sat here and talked to multiple Philly fans about. Sirianni is different to me than Peterson was.
Yeah.
Peterson, although a great coach coming in and helping them win a Super Bowl, I think Sirianni really just encapsulates Philadelphia.
Yeah, he fits perfect.
Fits the scheme, like he fits the mentality that Philly
Attitude.
has, the attitude exactly. He doesn't take grief from the fans, which is huge in Philly. I don't think people realize how big that is. Because if it's kind of like New York with the media, if you buckle, if you at any point in time show them weakness, they will eat you alive.
Yeah, you got to have that pesky, Goodfellas mob type personality. But the only reason I thought about it is because once Harbaugh was available, I said, okay, maybe. But I think you're right. I think Sirianni is just a perfect fit, that type of personality, the type of aggression.
See them moving off of Sirianni. Now, the offensive coordinator, 100% fire. There's no way this offense should look the way it does. Even if you're successful and win a playoff game and beat the Niners, fire that coordinator because he's not the one. He's not the guy that's going to get it back to where it needs to be. But Sirianni, no.
I don't see it.
I'd say keep him.
And we'll have Phil on tomorrow, so I'll ask him then. But I mean, that's probably another thing I'll bounce off Bolt is, looking at these teams, which Bolt will join us at 8:30 and go by the numbers and his bets this weekend. But I'm thinking one of these teams that are favorites, yeah, favorites to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I'm seeing an upset this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be Philadelphia dropping it to the Niners, or the other one is Carolina.
Well, okay, because that's the one that everybody's talking about is the possibility of Carolina possibly winning a football game here.
I don't see.
They have been very back and forth 500 football lately. 1 week they win, 1 week they lose. And guess what? They lost last week, which means this week would line up for a win for the Carolina Panthers. I wouldn't be surprised if they knock it off. I wouldn't. But at the same time, am I going to sit here and say they are making a stretch to a Super Bowl?
No,
absolutely not.
I'm just thinking of the Rams and the Eagles are the favorite teams in the NFC, and I think one of them is going to drop this weekend. I just don't know which one, and I think with Devontae Adams being back in the lineup, it's going to make it a little easier when you get him and Puka on the field together with Stafford.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, Rams are taking on the Panthers, right?
Yep.
Who have already lost to the Panthers once this season.
Mm-hmm. I think the Rams probably beat them up.
Yeah, no, they're probably going to come for blood this time. But again, we saw it once already, and it's going to be a great way for the NFL to sit there and say, see, this is why we give division winners the home field advantage, because they can win regardless of their record.
Which is multiple teams from, this California area that are traveling all the way across the U.S., whether it's the Rams going all the way to Carolina, the Niners playing in Philly, the Chargers playing in New England. I mean, there's going to be some traveling issues with these games, but I think the one that I'm more worried about is the Niners knocking off the Eagles.
Yeah, I think that is a good possibility. Right now, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on the Niners.
Does that still keep you focused that Sirianni's safe?
Yeah, because again, I don't necessarily blame Sirianni for the way this offense has been rolling. I blame the coordinator.
The coordinator.
I really do. And honestly, why they haven't fired him yet, I have no idea. I get why you're still in a playoff hunt, so you're in the running, but I'd be surprised, like I said, after they potentially lose, or if they are or see themselves with an early exit, that's going to be the first headline you hear out of Philly is they let the offensive coordinator go. You cannot have a team that went from the second best rush team in the NFL
to whatever you want to call this season.
Yes. Because this is a debacle, dude. This is absolutely ridiculous. You didn't lose anybody. I get the offensive line got banged up a little bit more this year than they did last year. You lost Lane Johnson for a couple games, which is unprecedented in Philadelphia because he's always on the field. But you can't have that happen. And then, sorry, Sparky just showing me
has been fired by the Miami Dolphins.
And there goes. Now there's 8 vacancies. And, oh, God. Well, you've been calling this for weeks because, I mean, like you said, Troy's not exactly a huge fan of Mike McDaniel, which means he wasn't adding any friends in the front office with this GM search. But, I mean, how do you feel? Do you think there's anybody that's going to be...
They've got a plan.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
I think they've got a plan. And like I said to start the show, they've got 4 interviews for the GM position. And I'm sure that was the discussion, not only with the debacle of what's going on in Miami, whoever takes this GM job, they're looking at, okay, well, we're going to have to drop Tua.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to probably drop Tyreek or trade something. Yeah. We're going to get some type of salary cap for it. We have some young talent in the backfield. We've got Waddle. We've got all this. But before you can have a head coach, you got to have a GM. And just in Miami fashion, Stephen Ross comes out 2 months ago, says everyone, Greer and McDaniel are safe. And as of 7:39 this morning, they are both unemployed. So I'm not surprised. I want to see the plan.
I think a lot of fans would love to see their team's plan, including myself with the Falcons, but I'm willing to wait a little bit. We've talked about this yesterday, though. I mean, McDaniels came out and said until he is told differently that he was going to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That didn't exactly breed confidence in anybody that he was going to be sticking around. But do you feel like somebody's going to be calling McDaniel maybe for one of these open offensive coordinator positions?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe goes to Washington, pairs up with Dan Quinn, sees what they can do with Jaden Daniels.
I could also see him going back to Frisco and working with this boy.
That's true. The Kyle Shanahan situation.
I could also see Detroit.
I
can see Detroit for
now we're cooking because him,
put Campbell and him together.
Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams just moving everywhere on the field.
That'd be dangerous.
Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield.
Montgomery's on his way out. He's tweeting bye.
Is he really?
Which I can understand.
They didn't use him at all this season. They underutilized him ridiculously after a season where he looked fantastic. And again, I realize it's because they lost Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson's genius is figuring out how to play all of these guys to a point where they're all happy and get the touches they desire. But I don't understand why. I think that was one of the big reasons why I should say Detroit lost a lot of their offensive output this year, is because they stopped relying on
Sonic
guys
and Knuckles.
And now you're stuck with Sonic. And I shouldn't say stuck because Jahmyr Gibbs
I'll take him,
top 5, but it's going to be different. It's going to be a different dynamic back there without Montgomery at the same time. I can honestly say that, because when you have a dual back system, a team can't focus on just one style of running. And when you can focus on one style of running, it does make it easier to kind of, compact that running back and make it so the offense can't work as easily. But we'll see. Maybe they could find somebody to fill the void and actually use him next season.
I would expect Miami to announce whoever this GM is in the next couple hours, hopefully before the show ends. And then we can start getting some head coaching visits. But that's one down. I'm not surprised.
Are you hoping,
in many ways, but who knows?
Are you hoping for an offensive-minded guy or a defensive-minded guy?
I'm a defensive guy, and I'm hoping we can keep Weaver. And if we keep Weaver, then I don't know. Maybe we'll get into the Harbaugh sweepstakes, but that seems to be a reach. I know some of these Bet MGM, which is a show on this station I was listening to yesterday, and they've already got the odds on where Harbaugh's going. And it's so difficult to say because teams like Buffalo, teams like Green Bay that could, be a top destination if they become, a head coaching away. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we got the was it McDermott from Buffalo? I like him. I think his attitude could change. I wouldn't mind having Flores back. Of course, I would love Gruden. Of course, I would love Harbaugh. But I'm going to be a Dolphin fan and say, those are the 4 or 5 names I would prefer. Vance Joseph, he's been in Miami before. I love the guy. It's just going to be an interesting offseason.
Oh, 100%. And honestly, you guys, I think, are one of those teams now that are going to be hitting the hard reset button. So much like the Raiders, whoever comes in for Miami is going to be dealing with that and wanting to just offload, like you said, all of the ridiculous contracts, trying to get some money flow for next season, because you're going to have a ton of dead cap, unfortunately.
The biggest odds right now is Harbaugh to the Giants. And it was like 60-something percent.
That makes a lot of sense.
And his brother came out and saying, he hopes that he goes to the NFC.
He don't want him anywhere near the AFC anymore. But honestly, I think they are just holding out the hope that they get one more Super Bowl against each other.
Well, like you had mentioned, I mean, some of these teams are defensive minds away, and I think there's a lot of coordinator positions that McDaniel fit perfectly in.
And again, after a year like this in Miami, I think he's warranted a job. I think he showed that he's still one of the best offensive minds in football. You just got to figure out the right offense that actually will be able to utilize it. And honestly, I'd love him in Atlanta. I would love him as an offensive
My
coordinator.
buddy Dr. Gerhardt
Here's the thing.
texted me and said, bring him to the Giants. I want him as the Giants offensive coordinator.
I could see it now, Spark. I'm just throwing this out there right now into the ether. Robert Saleh, the new Atlanta head coach. Mike McDaniel, the new Atlanta offensive coordinator. Jeff Ulbrich stays as the defensive coordinator. Atlanta's back, baby.
Saleh and McDaniel worked
And
together
honestly, I know a
before.
lot of Niner fans that are yelling, oh, you're just going to take Niner coaches now? Who took whose coach first? Who took whose coach first? Where did Kyle Shanahan come from? Tell me exactly. You know exactly who you stole from. So, yeah, I want my lick back. I want my coaching staff back. But it is what it is. I'll take Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel right now in Atlanta. I think both of those guys could do a great job with this young core. And we will keep you up to date on all the coaching moves here, as now 8 NFL teams are looking for a brand new head coach, amongst others who are looking for coordinators. We will let you know each and every one of those moves as they happen. We will take a break right now, though, and get to other stuff on the other side. We'll get into this Rashee Rice situation with his ex-girlfriend, Jerry Jones wanting more rings than Robert Kraft, and how likely that's actually going to be. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk.
Welcome back. You know, it's funny. You play this. I was watching a video this morning of Damian Priest talking to some guys while he was playing bartender for an event. And the guys asked him, who's your favorite hip hop and metal bands and stuff like that. He looked at me, or he didn't look at me, I'm sorry. He looked at the guys and said, with all the Diddy stuff going on, he really teed it up as if it was going to be Diddy. He's like, I'm a massive 50 Cent and NWO fan. I was like, yes, thank God.
Nice.
I was like, please don't say Diddy. I know you're a New Yorker, but please don't do it.
I read this morning that he had his Beverly Hills, Diddy had his Beverly Hills mansion
robbed,
listed. No, and he pulled it out. He I guess they're saying he's planning to after a year, probably not the best year to list your home, saying, hey, you can buy Diddy's house. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But yeah, he unlisted it and planning on moving back to California when he gets out.
Not just that, but those people who are on their internet a lot like that next door to Diddy's house is a very popular streamer's house, Kai Cenat.
Really?
Yes. So although that could be cool for your kid to be next door neighbors with one of his favorite streamers, that also opens the possibility of a lot of really random stuff going on. And I don't know if anybody wants to live next to that. So
speaking of weird things, ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
And Rashee Rice, he just can't get out of his own way.
Well, and what concerns me, as we said at the beginning of the show, is that the Kansas City Chiefs have come out and said that they know about this, or at least the allegations against Rashee Rice. Now, like every NFL team, they're backing their guy. They're sitting there saying he's our guy. He's, innocent until proven guilty, which is all 100% true. And these are all allegations, but she has released pictures of pretty serious battery injuries. I mean, busted lips, bruises, and all that type of stuff. And she's gone to social media with all of it, claiming Rashee is the perpetrator with all of this. God, I hope this guy's career isn't going the route we're seeing. I really don't. I really don't want to see that. These kinds of situations, I know we talk about them too much because they happen all the time, but it just sucks to see guys who have such talent go these routes. And I'm not saying he did it. These are all allegations, and I'm hoping that he gets absolved of all of this and we all just move on and just see him as a great wide receiver in Kansas City that helps Patrick Mahomes win football games. But 2 years in a row, major allegations against you, dude. You're piling on even for just post your Kansas City career. Because let's be honest, the likelihood of him playing his entire career with Kansas City is minuscule, which means you're going to have to look good for other teams. And other teams are just going to look back at situations like this. When you were causing issues in your car, when your ex-girlfriend was coming out saying that you were abusing her and that the team was aware of it. Like, this is all going to come against him at some point. And I hope that all of it gets wiped away. I really do. And that it's all absolved. But
here comes Tyreek. Here comes Tyreek.
I mean,
he's coming back to Kansas City. I see it.
It's the only thing that makes sense at this point for his career, too. Because, again, another guy, a lot of off-field situations going on that not a lot of teams are going to be willing to put down money on you, especially the money that you want because of the years and years and years of stuff and allegations that happen every single offseason. Like, you gotta know keeping your name out of the media is a good thing.
It's good for your bank account.
It is. It really is.
Some other reports Schefter just tweeted out. The Bucs have fired their offensive coordinator as well as their quarterback coach. And the Chiefs have fired their wide receiver coach. And Matt Nagy is also joining Brian Flores to interview with Baltimore.
Oh, nice. So what you're telling me is Tampa Bay was salty that they saw Liam Cohen leave for Jacksonville. And because the offensive coordinator wasn't equally as good as Liam, they said, you're out.
Fired.
You're fired. Gave him the Donald Trump treatment. You're fired. Again, you got to blame somebody, I guess, in Tampa Bay, and it's not going to be Todd Bowles. He is a defensive-minded guy after all, so you can't blame him for offensive woes, I guess. But I just think when it came to Tampa Bay, I think the problem with them this year was just injuries. I don't think anybody should have taken the blame for this season. But who knows? Maybe they have a plan to go after someone like McDaniels or even Cliff Kingsbury or somebody that doesn't end up getting a head coaching gig like they think they will. And we start seeing some movement in those areas because I guarantee Tampa Bay, just like Atlanta, sees that this division is well winnable. And it could just be one or two coaches away from really just being grabbed and held onto for the next decade, because God knows the NFC South has been awful.
And what happens to Minnesota if they lose Flores?
That's a good question.
Because that's gonna be a tough situation.
They're gonna go cry in the car. I can tell you that right now. But because honestly, I think you do. As much as you would love to keep him, Brian Flores has been a hot commodity for a head coaching job for years. And honestly, I think a lot of people have just been chomping at the bit, waiting for this legal allegation to get done so they could have done it. I really do. I think that he was going to be a head coach last year, but because the legal stuff's still going on, teams were like, maybe we'll hold off. Let's take a break. We got our first guest of the day on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the KGEO Sports Talk. Hour 2 of the Early Bird Special on KGEO Sports Talk 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. I apologize. My guy Anthony's got me laughing in here already. Apparently, you made his day with these Foster's Donuts, my friend.
You made the year, the morning, wait, what's the date? The January 8th. You made the day.
Best donuts in town, I'll just say.
We're still.
That's
yes,
arguable.
110%.
We can argue about that.
And
We can.
You can argue, but you're going to lose because you got two Foster's boys in here, and you're going to lose.
I'm not a Foster kid, but I'm willing to fight one. Okay?
I'm curious though, because our guy Dawson in there took the green one, and I want to know what the flavor is on the green one.
What is that?
It's like Grinch. It's like it's Grinch green too.
It's just
like
food coloring,
green
right?
flavored. Yeah,
probably. It's like
green flavored.
What's green
Well, I
flavored?
initially looked at it, I was
Spinach?
like, "What is
I like
this?
that orange
Avocado?"
drink.
Like
Avocado.
orange
Grinch.
drink.
I thought it was gonna be like
a little bit too.
pistachio.
It's Dubai chocolate. That's what it is.
I
It's
couldn't afford that.
Dubai
That
chocolate.
stuff's gross.
I couldn't afford it.
It looks gross. If it looks gross, I don't eat it. You know, I mean, that's a lot of
I
things.
don't know why
Wait a
y'all
minute.
want hair.
The
in
first
your
time we had
chocolate.
you on, you were talking about the buffet
and the
right
feet.
by the Foster's Donuts that I go to.
Oh yeah, well that's
Jade.
Jade, yeah. I
Yes.
mean, I haven't been there since COVID for obvious reasons, but yeah. I mean, I don't step foot in there, especially. I mean, if you want to sentence someone to a really good fantasy football punishment, you're gonna have them go to Jade Buffet every Sunday after church for the next year. I think that'd be, and you'd only spend $60 because it's cheap as heck in there.
diabolical.
I grew up loving buffets, man.
Well, I
and
do too.
COVID just killed all of us.
I miss Panda
did.
Palace.
Yeah.
Panda Palace was the best Chinese buffet.
was a
in
Sizzler
town.
guy.
Could
but-
you elaborate, Panda Palace?
Panda Palace was the
Yeah.
one right there. It's not too far from here.
Hold on, I gotta write this down.
I can't remember where it was. Oak, I believe. If you've been there, you know exactly where
Okay,
I'm
alright,
at. But it's right up here, not too far from here.
I
Right
think
now
I
one
know
on
exactly what
Ming.
you're talking about.
What's it called?
Golden Corral.
Yeah, I haven't had it in Bakersfield, but when I lived out in New Mexico, that
It's
place
good.
was key, man.
Oh yeah, it's
They
good.
made fresh steaks and all sorts of stuff, and when it came to
They
Bakersfield,
kinda-
I'm like,
Well, I feel like a Golden Corral in New Mexico's got to be on in Poppin because that's
Yeah.
the only thing that they got in New Mexico
Exactly.
is a Golden Corral that's on in Poppin.
Yeah,
that
that's
is true.
probably
That
true.
is very true.
That's absolutely
You
true.
hear this competition. I mean, you got Jade Buffet, Panda Palace, Sizzler.
We
Sizzler's
going
good.
Sizzler.
I
We
like
going
Sizzler. Hey, that was
Sizzler.
my first girlfriend. If you're out there, Julia.
Oh, you know Julia?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, right
we
on.
shared
I
her.
love Sizzler. So.
Yeah, Sizzler. That was a good lunch date. I mean, lunch buffet. Yeah, that was. I mean, not bad. Not bad.
Sizzler's okay.
Yeah.
I love Sizzler.
I
I've
mean,
never
that's
been a
why I
huge
said not
Sizzler
bad.
guy.
Not bad is okay.
I've
I've
never
never
been a huge
because I was like the
Sizzler
Sizzler toast. He's like, it's cheese toast, you idiot. It's not Sizzler toast. It is Sizzler toast because that's where I get it.
Oh, and the cheddar biscuits from Red
Red
Lobster are
Lobster.
just. Oh, you got a song for everything. I like this
Yeah.
Red Lobster.
I just ate a maple donut. That's the most sugar I've had in
Oh,
probably
you're gonna
a couple
crash
months.
it by the next commercial break.
If you see a wreck on the way to Woolworths, it's probably me.
I opened the box of donuts and the smell of the sugar. I just checked my blood sugar. It went up, dude. It just like it hit me.
That's what made me laugh. Was he's over here like wafting.
Literally.
Dude, just pick a donut.
No, it's like I can't. I'm fasting until 9. So I gotta just admire. And I'm an Angel's Donuts guy, and that's just maybe I don't know if you guys-
Angels is good. Angels is very good.
Yeah, I don't.
I just grew up on Foster's. It's
No.
like asking me what pizza's the best. I will always tell
Rusty's?
you Rusty's
Okay.
because I grew up on Rusty's.
As long as it's not Krispy Kreme.
but
I'm
Oh,
still,
yeah.
Bakersfield
Crispy,
Pizza
yeah.
Company easily 1B.
Oh yeah.
Easily
round of
1B.
applause.
But
Pizzaville.
Yeah.
Pizzaville's up there as well. But
Oh,
I
yes.
just because I grew up on Rusty's, like there's that nostalgia feeling.
No,
to it.
100%. Rusty's, you get your little card after reading a book, getting an A in class. You're like, all right, personal pan pizza time,
Boom.
baby. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
If you didn't know already, Anthony Jauregui is here.
That's
as he
me.
usually is on
Bamphony,
Thursdays.
Bamphony. Bamphony.
One of the funniest comedians we have here locally in town.
Appreciate
Good to
it.
see you, sir.
Thank you.
know.
Good to see you guys, Sparky and Burdick. Every morning I listen to the show. I'm excited, especially all the football talk this morning.
Yes. And
I
Dolphins finally have done something.
it's just crazy that the guests, I mean the hosts of the show are both part of teams that are looking for new head coaches.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
don't-
And you
That's-
might be the third one here in a week.
Don't even bring
Possible.
that up. I honestly I wouldn't be surprised
Do
because
you want that though?
at this point
As
it's
a
out
fan.
of I'm a grounded fan. I know that everything is out of my control. So I'm
True.
not going to pour too much into something to where I'll get so amped up that I'll come on the radio and talk about it. But if we lose Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst, I may switch to like Rams or something. That's more of this side
Really?
of town. Yeah, I mean they're good, but like dude in the background's using ChatGPT. That's funny. Anyway,
That's Dawson.
Dawson uses a lot of AI on the show.
he just asked it. He just said good morning to it. I mean, come on, I'm right
Hey,
here. I'm a human being. Talk to me. No.
I'm always kind to the AI as well.
Boy, when you're stuck
I
in the
say
same
thank
room as
you.
Sparky all day.
I get it.
I
No,
say
you have
thank
to be
you
nice to the
and
AIs,
please,
man.
and-
You never know. The Terminator life could be right around the corner for
Yeah,
us.
I'd rather have a T3100 or whatever be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers instead of Matt
Mm.
LaFleur if he loses again, because this is, I looked at, someone posted like the tenure of your coach, and it's
Yes.
just like the first year is like NFC Championship 13-3. It's like, all right, and then it just goes significantly worse. After Rodgers left, it goes worse
right.
and worse and worse, and then it's like, no, Jordan Love is doing good, and I think they're just the team is satisfying the fans in that they're winning enough to keep us competitive, and it's not completely nuclear. But it's going to turn into a Mike Tomlin situation here pretty soon if it's just like, yeah, we're winning games, but we didn't win the division, and we kind of
See,
broke into the playoffs. That's not good enough for me.
It took the Steelers 20 years though to get to that. It takes a Packer fan 7.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference between the two
Well, listen,
organizations.
the Dolphins 30, so
Well, that's true too. But at this point, I don't know if removing Matt LaFleur from the coaching staff would be the right move.
I'll give him this though. I mean, it's not his fault we lost this year, and we won a lot because of him. He had made a lot of bad
Right.
like game time decisions.
And you look at the team he inherited from McCarthy and stuff like that when he first started with Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. So obviously he was going to be pretty successful right away.
Yeah, I mean, and you have Rodgers. So, and that was when he's had still yet won his 2, 3, and 4 MVPs. You know, so yeah.
I mean,
Devontae Adams.
looking at last weekend's game, I was watching them. I was like, I was hoping that the Eagles and Packers were going to line up just because. But now, I mean, going into this weekend with the Packers and the Bears,
Yes.
Caleb
that
Williams
should
could
be
be
a hell
the
of a game.
first Bears quarterback to ever beat the Packers twice in a season.
Don't, dude.
Stir it up.
If
I'm just saying.
I literally checked out the moment he threw that pass to
The new,
to Moore, DJ Moore.
The deep pass at the end.
Yeah, I literally checked out from the season when Micah Parsons lost his knee. I'll get first.
That
that's
was
like,
probably the best touchdown pass that he has ever thrown, and that
bring it up
DJ's
again.
ever
It's like bringing
caught.
up like, hey, I saw your
sorry,
ex
that was
kissing a new
pretty.
guy at the bar. It's like
That was
care.
pretty.
Why
Let's
you
talk
bring-
about Julia.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, dude. God rest her soul. Yeah. she's not dead. She's just sleeping, probably. Yeah. I really checked out, and maybe it's just for my own sanity because I'm tired of the crap talk. I'm tired of getting text messages because I don't like.
Just 3 weeks ago, we were hearing that there was this whole text message
a
war
new
between
year.
him and Betts.
It's a
It's
new
a new
year.
It's a
year.
new year. New year, new
It's a
Anthony.
new year.
Well,
Dan
like you
literally texted me. Dan Betts, owner of the World Comedy Club, texted me the minute the Eagles, the Bears lost to the Lions last week, and it was really set. It was like he just sent me a message. He just said, "See you at Soldier Field," and I sent him a message back saying $50 because that's the bet I'm making, and he didn't agree to it. He didn't say anything.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't.
Well, because let's
he
be
ghosted
honest,
me.
the Bears fans, although they are very, very excited to win the division, probably are not trusting this just yet.
I would be worried. I mean, like if I'm a Packers fan, I'm not like too like, yeah, we're gonna go and stomp
No,
their, you know.
But also the Bears, I mean, the Bears fandom has been known to just kind of be mid with their team just because they know there's always that possibility of disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, look what they
temper
did to
the
Mitch Trubisky.
expectations. Yeah, 100%.
When Mitch Trubisky was first
Double
there, he
doink.
looked somewhat okay, and then
Yeah.
he was starting to fall off. They were literally booing him out of restaurants. So the fan base is right there from turning at any point in time.
I know. I think they're really so. I mean, I get all this like threads is like they're into my fight or flight, you know. So they'll just like, I'm not even on Threads a lot, but they'll throw like little crumbs on Instagram, and all it is like a Bears fan page talking crap about the Packers. I'm like, why are you showing me this? You're just, I'm gonna get upset, and it's just the Bears being like, yeah, Caleb Williams beat the Packers with pink nail polish, and I'm like, like they just know how to rile up the Midwest fans and the Catholic conservatives in Bakersfield. Not that I'm
man.
conservative, but I'm Catholic.
That is hilarious.
You know,
but
I
hey,
mean,
I'm just saying there is a possibility you guys win. Jordan could be the better quarterback in this situation, so you never know.
By the
Playoff
stats.
weekend is always up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, what Super Bowl do you want? Do you want the Eagles and the Chargers, or do you want to see a rematch of the 2010 Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Green Bay Packers? Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. That's what I want. And Roger Goodell, if you're listening to me on KGEO Sports Talk, 12:30 a.m., 101.1 FM, Roger Goodell, make it happen.
I want the Rams and Jaguars.
Rams and Jags would be interesting. That would be interesting.
A little coach.
I just don't want Buffalo or New England.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
He's a Dolphins fan.
I looked at the house like, oh yeah, like in the middle of it. I was like, I said, why? I saw the Dolphins. Oh, okay.
Oh man. Well, honestly, I think the storyline that you were just posing right now, the Liam Cohen, Sean McVay connection, like that would be kind of cool to see as well. You never know. And
who
won
Houston.
the matchup?
I like
Houston. Jaguars and Rams.
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I'd have to look back.
Houston, their offense isn't that great because I know I bought CJ Stroud during the trade in fantasy, and he didn't do crap for me. And then all of a sudden they started winning. And
he was also injured for half the year, so
that's probably what it was.
It kind of matters.
Yeah, sorry.
They rely on the defense, though. They're in my opinion, and again, I've gotten a lot of grief for this because I have friends who are Pittsburgh fans and love to let me hear it. But
yeah,
I think that Houston's going to roll them. I think Houston's going to roll Pittsburgh, and it's
Me
not
too.
going to be pretty at all.
You think so?
And the Rams beat the Jaguars 35-7 in London.
Gotcha.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I could definitely
was in London too. The Jaguars' true home.
Right, all the retirees and
I'm just saying, Shad Khan's got connections, man. Although he's been trying to keep him in Jacksonville, I would not be surprised if that team moves and becomes the London Monarchs at some point. I'm just saying,
with his face and that mustache as the
only one that'll be mad is his son
logo.
Tony, because he won't be able to go to the football games as much anymore with his wrestlers. They promote the heck out of AEW with Jacksonville.
Is that really kind of what is that his son
his son is Tony Khan, who's the owner of AEW.
Wow.
So there's a lot of crossover there in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
that's okay. So that bridges the that makes a lot of sense.
So does this Packers Bears game have anything to do with your employment with the well when it opens?
That is a very good question.
It's a new year, so and the club actually opens very soon. We start training next week, so
I'm gonna laugh if they block him at the door.
No, well,
That's all he has to do is work the door.
All of a sudden my direct deposit wasn't working for work I've been doing around the club, and they said it was some payroll issue, but I'm realizing now that Dan made a call to the accountant and took me off.
Lord.
Maybe it's because I hedged on the bet and I didn't pay him the $40 on time. I did with interest. I sent him $1 on Venmo.
Is that why maybe that's why he doesn't reply and do the $50 bet if you hedged him on the $40?
Well, then why would you text me? He did text me, and he's like, he texts me sometimes telling me.
Well, again, it's all in spirited fun. I mean,
it's spirited fun, but it's mean spirited. I don't like mean spirits. Go away, boo. I don't go away, dude. I like good spirits that rub my back and lick my toes.
What is with the feet jokes every time?
I'm not making a joke. I'm just talking about what I like. At this point, it's a new year.
But are you pumped? I mean, it is a new year,
dude.
I'm finally opening.
I'm pumped about football, the club. Yeah, I'm pumped about a lot of things. I'm pumping my brakes on this game just because I'm tempering my expectations and I don't want to be let down. And again, I checked out when Micah Parsons broke his knee because I knew that was going to cause a litany of challenges. And I checked out not in a bad, but more in an emotional way. More in a
I don't think you're the only one that did. I've been saying it for weeks. That looks like the team checked out after Micah got hurt.
Then that's kind of pathetic, especially when when the dude's like, I'm your best player. Everyone's game planning me. It's like, yeah, I'd feel like, yeah, dude, we lost the dude. That sucks, So I don't blame him.
It just, I don't know. There's something while watching that team where I'm just like, the spark isn't there anymore, or at least the excitement that they had going into the season. Because remember, we were talking about it 3-4 weeks in. They were sitting there saying, "Oh, we're going undefeated. Nobody's MVP.
I was literally about to bring that up, dude.
NFL."
Our left tackle, Rashid Walker, that was the last interview he did. When he went up, and he's like, I feel like pound for pound, we can go.
We can go up
undefeated." I was
against
like,
everybody.
dude, why did you say that? Literally week 3. Ever since then,
You angered the football gods. That's what happened.
honestly. And then it's on it every year. Evan Williams. This is the second year. He's a safety. He's up and coming. He's good. Oregon State, Fresno. He went out and was like, "Yeah, our goal this year on the defense is to get 70 turnovers." I'm like, "You idiot! Why did you say that?" That's why I don't talk about my comedy goals because I don't think they're gonna happen. That's why I'm perfectly complacent where I'm at right now.
He is in a
He
dump
is,
today,
man.
man.
Eat a donut. Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you
then
need
I'm
the
really
donut.
gonna crash, figuratively and pejoratively, or
Let's
whatever the
shift
word
away
is.
from your
Find
Packers.
something positive.
Yeah, let's talk
let's
about
find
Rashi
some other
Rice's
stuff.
girlfriend.
Well, we can. I mean,
no,
if you want to,
No,
that
no,
entire situation's sticky too.
no,
I
it's
mean,
sticky hands. Yeah,
I mean, let's talk about
that's-
Jerry. Let's
No.
talk about a common enemy
Yes.
that everybody has. And
I
that's
have
the
one thing
Cowboys.
after that. Yeah, Jerry.
So-
yes. Mhm.
Jerry Jones coming out and saying that he wants to have more rings than anybody else when he retires, or inevitably just hands this team down to his kids, or decides to do whatever the heck he's going to do with it. Problem with that is he needs 4 more Super Bowls to make that happen. Do you think he does it?
Jerry Jones wants to win more Super Bowls, and
He would have
I
to
also
go-
want my blood sugar to drop. But there's donuts sitting next to me, and those are 2 things that I don't think are going to happen.
He would have to go on a Tom Brady like streak to make this happen.
No, it'd be impossible. And at that age, he's just geriatric at this point. No pun intended. Jerry.
How? Well, because that's a question that I have too. Is how long is he gonna be still there?
I think as long as he can still keep like taking in, like, I think what happens is that the doctors from the Cowboys, that dude that's always in the cowboy hat on, like that dude, that doctor, he is like taking like straight testosterone, or he's taking like energy from the players and giving it to Jerry to keep him alive, kind of like a whole Monstars Space Jam thing where they're taking the powers. And so as long as Jerry can keep taking the powers of his team and keeping his knees and his body strong, he can be alive for 3,000 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna outlive me and my child.
Exactly.
He's
And
got the fountain of youth.
so with that considered, Cowboys fans, I think you'll definitely win another 3 Super Bowls in this millennia.
He's 83 years old.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not to be ageist, but there's no way, dude. There's no way.
Well, we're talking about tampering expectations. I
Yes.
mean, to win 4 more Super Bowls before you're 90
Yeah.
would be a feat, especially with the team that they have.
To not break a hit before 90 is more, I don't know. I don't see 4 happening.
No. I saw that yesterday, and I know a lot of sports fans got a chuckle out of that when Jerry came out and said it again. But then again,
He's keeping him in the news, and that's
Exactly.
ultimately what he
That's
wants
what
and
he
what he
does.
said in the offseason.
Exactly.
Did you guys hear about Jim Harbaugh? What's the Chargers coach? Jim?
Jim is the Chargers coach.
was
Yes.
watching
John's
a-
the
I was
unemployed.
watching a YouTube video last night, and it was like the Chargers health, the person that like makes all their meals and stuff,
Mhm.
and he was talking about what Jim Harbaugh eats like on a daily basis on game days. And you guys want to guess the 3 things that he eats?
On game days?
Yeah, or just like in general, like his favorite food, like that he's like always requesting.
I'm going to guess spaghetti because for some reason that's an athlete's favorite thing. No?
Fun dip.
So that's a good guess.
That is a good guess. That was a very
It's
good guess.
Fun dip, but the
People
other-
are weird.
I was going to
dude.
say Reese's
you're
at
right.
some point
Or
too.
something
They
like
They
that.
always have something weird.
Chicken tenders,
Chicken tendies.
Tendies.
Okay.
Uncrustables.
Love it. Okay.
There was another one I forgot, but those 2. I mean, hey, I'm eating like a champion coach, dude. I'm
$1 million coach.
if I
give me
like
my
what Jim
Uncrustables.
likes, then
This is
exactly.
a former NFL quarterback turned coach. Chicken tendies, you can never go wrong. Dominic
Right.
Mysterio taught us that. And honestly, I'll eat 1 million Uncrustables. And actually, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense why they were at the
Yes.
game. Oh my God. Okay.
See,
so
that's why I brought it up. I
well,
knew
no, because we
Kismet.
went, myself and JR Flores, our program director, got to go cover the Raider game at SoFi this year. And like a lot of other teams, when you're in the media room, there's like a spread so people can go get food. And there is a smorgasbord of Uncrustables in there.
Every
dude.
flavor.
Well, I think there's only 2. I've only seen 2. Oh,
There's
well,
like-
no, I guess
oh,
it's
there's
a
like
chocolate.
4 or 5
There's like
now.
Is it
honey,
really?
chocolate.
Mhm.
I've only
spaghetti.
seen the grape and the strawberry. I'm just talking about the
Okay,
the
yeah,
straight
that's
peanut butter
fine,
and jelly
yeah,
ones, not
yeah,
the special dessert
straight
ones.
indica hybrid. Yeah, I got you. All right.
But yeah, no, there were a ton of them, and that makes so much sense now because it's probably all a surplus of the stuff that they buy for him.
100%. It's just like, hey, the coach doesn't want this, so
Yeah, it's like, give
media,
it to
you
media.
can have it.
God, that's hilarious. But yeah, no, I mean that doesn't necessarily surprise me. PB&J's are a staple in any
And chicken
athlete's.
tendies, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, shoot, if Dom can live doing professional wrestling and eating nothing but chicken tendies, I'm pretty sure there's something healthy in there.
absolutely.
There's got to be something healthy.
Yeah,
in there.
some of us grew up eating Vallarta chicken patties in the
There you go.
styrofoam. That'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
There you go.
mhm, that's-
Albertson's chicken every day.
I went Green Frog.
Oh yeah,
Green Frog's chicken for me, but
yeah. Green
I'm-
Frog.
I miss Green Frog.
That's didn't they do like a wrestling bit in there? Wasn't there like an
Yeah.
old like
The
Steve
Austin and Booker T.
That's
Absolutely, that was
crazy.
my Green Frog.
They were
That was
on
the one down the
Bernard
street
and
from my
Baker.
street. Yeah.
Yeah, in
You're in the
Fresno.
background getting chicken.
In
Yeah, I know,
Fresno.
and then for a while they all
No.
claimed it
That's
was
what they all say.
Fresno, and yeah.
The wrestlers say it was in Fresno.
Well, Booker actually came back here
Idiot.
recently and said, no, it was in Bakersfield, and actually took all that back. He even said, he's like, I, for some reason, remember it in Fresno, but it was right here in
Yeah,
Bakersfield.
yeah.
And we're all
So-
like, we know.
Yeah. It's like, we were
If you're
there.
from across the country, Bakersfield and Fresno, I feel like you could get up confused. You know, they're both armpits on the same body.
Well, one's the right, one's the left.
Hey, I'll
so-
be in Fresno this Friday at DeChico's in Clovis. Come check it out.
I was just going to ask, you have any upcoming shows?
I do. I have a litany of shows. Check it out. Though. Give me a little thing.
No,
So Thursday tonight, I'm at the Timberland Brewing Company hosting the open mic night for the World Comedy
Nice.
Club.
We're back.
Yes,
Fantastic.
we're back, and then I'm sure at some point we'll transition to the new club. Just stay tuned. Hopefully, I'm here. I can tell everybody about it. And then Friday, I'm at DeChico's in Old Town Clovis. It's a pizza place, Italian restaurant. Actually, come check it out. Tickets are. I'll put them on my Instagram on a link. And then Saturday, I'm in Hanford doing a comedy festival. 22 comedians in 2 hours and 22 minutes. Tickets are like $10, and I'm doing 5 minutes on that. It'll be a fun time. A few other comedians from Bakersfield are going to be coming and doing all the shows too, so it's going to be a great time.
Very cool.
Yeah, so check out my Instagram at Bamphany if you're listening, and I'll tag early bird special. But a lot of good comedy, and we're excited for the club to open. Especially, I mean, we got Hans Kim, Russell Peters.
It's a bunch of them, man.
Yeah, go check out the calendar. Masood Bumgard, which is a self-help guru, comedian online, over 1 million followers. He's coming in April. A lot
Wow.
of good shows.
Uncle Laser.
Uncle Laser, of
Love Uncle
course.
I'm not looking
someone
forward to
drink-
the Norton, Jim Norton. Edward.
Oh yes,
I
Jim.
keep forgetting
Hopefully
his name.
brings
I
his
love that
wife.
guy.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites.
He's hilarious. Mhm.
And I'm late to the party, but I just started watching those. Was it the Kill Tony?
Oh, Kill
Oh,
Tony.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hans,
oh, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm seeing all of these guys. I'm like, oh,
Absolutely.
he's coming.
Yeah, 'cause
he's coming.
that's-
He's coming.
That's where
Yeah.
Uncle Laser really got big
David
too.
Lucas, yeah, Uncle. That's where Uncle Laser, like,
Yeah. It
yeah.
really took off on Kill Tony.
Mhm.
But they're hilarious. If you don't watch the Kill Tony stuff, it is a lot of fun. Like it's traditionally just a comic going up there for what, like a 2-3 minute bit. And then,
Yeah, essentially it's a combination of like an interview / stand-up where you go up and perform for a minute, the audience, and then the judging panel kind of, not judging panel, but the panel just kind of comments on your set.
judges you.
Yeah, judges you. And
Bomb
really
or
it's
not.
like, I wouldn't say it's like a roasting thing, but they'll make fun of you. They'll make fun of what you said. They'll interview you, find things about your life. If you're hiding a secret, they'll definitely find out about the foot fetish.
Tony's come out and he just did an interview with Stephanie McMahon on her podcast and said a lot of what he does for Kill Tony is inspired by the WWE.
Oh
And
yeah.
a lot of it is promo related. The way he walks out with his music, all that stuff is inspired.
Yeah,
by
and
that.
I really like that about comedy, and that you can infuse a lot of different media, and you can
Yes.
definitely see that influence now that I think about it. And I think it's good. I went to college for theater. There's something called spectacle. Aristotle wrote about it, read about it in the Poetics, but essentially all this like cool promo and all this, like if you bring that to comedy, it makes it so much more interesting. I did that when I was doing shows with Bad Neighbor. I was really emphasizing like the promo and like the lights and the camera and action, and then also delivering on the comedy. And that's exactly what Kill Tony does. And then if you watch, it's on YouTube, it's on Netflix. And if you're not a fan of Kill Tony, you'll be a fan of it if you come to one of these
Who's
shows.
the guy that impersonates Dr. Phil?
Oh, Adam
He's
Ray.
hilarious.
Dude, Adam Ray, I've been listening to him since he was on Loveline back in the day, with Drew and Adam Carolla and Mike Catherwood, dude. He is hilarious. And
his bits
he does
as
a lot.
Dr. Phil are
He has so many different. He
Fantastic.
has so many different characters. He's a stand-up comedian, but like this doctor, he's touring the country as Dr. Phil. Like that is insane.
Dr. Phil knows
Yeah.
about this too and is
He's had him
all on
on.
board.
Yeah, he's had him on.
on
Yeah.
as himself. Like it's great. I love everything about
He's
this.
great. Yeah, it's hopefully that'd be a great gift.
Some of the most viral moments from Kill Tony come from that guy, and it's for a reason.
He does Biden too. He
Yes,
does Biden. Yeah,
he does
you
a
see
great
the
Biden.
and then Shane Gillis did Trump. Yeah.
Well, they just had who came on and did, because I know Shane Gillis did Trump as well, but somebody else did a Trump on his show too, didn't they? And it was somebody big. I can't remember who it was right now though.
I'm not big on Shane Gillis. Some comedians get
only
by
reason
me.
I don't like him is because he's Notre Dame fan. That's the only reason. I'm just like, I cannot
I mean,
stand you.
I
as a
love
Notre
the
Dame
show
fan.
Tires. I liked some of his stand up, but it's certain comedians. I don't know if it's just
Is it the hype around it?
maybe
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, I
one
can
of
see
those
that.
things that's like you got to watch him.
Yeah.
And then I watch a lot of comedy stand up specials, a lot of the Dave Chappelle's, and I also like the Kill
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Tony ones that you don't know what you're gonna get. The ones that are almost feel like open mic type deal because you've never heard of some of these guys. But I think maybe it was somebody's like, "Hey, you got to watch this. You got," and it was like, okay.
And sometimes that ruins it, you
Yeah.
know. And it's sometimes that's why I'm like, that's why I don't like go and say go check something. I go check. You have to experience things sometimes, you know. And like I'm more a fan of Shane Gillis like on podcasts because I don't really I've seen him when he came to the Fox. I've seen his stand up, but I don't follow him for his stand up. I follow him because I like him as the figure is on the comedy podcast that I watch, you know. But I've never been like, go check out a stand-up, go check out a stand-up. I've just,
Well, that's one of my favorite things about the Well Comedy Club. When you have a full-time comedy club, you get to go to these shows and you don't have to break the bank. And, one of the things I'll say, I probably went to 30 shows at the Well at the old location. And 90% of the shows I went to, I left saying, dude, that opening guy or the guy before him, and he steals the show.
Yeah.
And I start following him and I start seeing him more and more. I mean, the other guys, just seeing the first time I saw Boydston, he was opening at the Rocket Shop Cafe. And I was like, dude, this guy is hilarious. And we've been friends for probably 6-7 years ever since.
Absolutely.
Those are the best things about having a comedy club right here in your backyard is you can go have a good time and you don't know what to expect. You go for the headliner, but you leave talking about the opening guys.
It's live entertainment, it's live entertainment where you can have a drink, have some food, relax, take a date that, isn't necessarily a concert where you have to stand and get kicked in the head or like, be uncomfortable waiting in line to go take a pee. But comedy is a live thing. Don't watch it on Reels. Don't watch it on TikTok. I get that's how people sell tickets and stuff, but really there's a huge difference between what you see online in your bedroom or on the toilet on your phone as opposed to what you experience. And you can't really experience someone's aura and their vibe and their comedy fully until you're in the room with them. And that's going to be even better when it's at this nice new location in downtown Bakersfield. And I'm a performer. I'm a theater guy, so I know that feeling of like the live aspect and versus filming something is just like it kills it. It's a different art, it's a different medium. And really, guys, if you're on the fence about what stand-up is, or I don't know who that is, I don't know who that's funny, suspend your disbelief, if that's the right phrase, and just go out and experience something. You don't know what it is, and it's a good thing to do, and ultimately it'll stick with you as opposed to like a movie. A movie will be fun, you'll forget about it in a day, but a comedy show you'll probably be talking about for a week, and then you have something to reference.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and it's like you said too. I know people hate when we go back to this, but COVID still has a grip on some things in your life, including most people just wanting to stay home instead of experience life. And I think you're right, dude. You got to go out. I just got that. You got to go out and experience stuff, man. I mean, you never know how good something is until you experience it.
Yeah, and then if you don't like it, and if you're like, oh, if I take a date, what if something's offensive? You go, and then you're like, you both talk crap about it after. You're like, hey, that was terrible. What was that? Like,
conversation starter.
Don't make yourself part of the show. Talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, and then it's a good thing. And if you're meeting somebody, it's a date, you laugh, you realize, oh, that's what they like, that's what they laugh at, and then if they laugh at something crazy, you're like, whoa. what was that?
Exactly.
Then you're
Then
like,
you-
oh wait, and it's the conversation.
And honestly, that's the best one to
Yeah.
to really highlight is you get to find out what the person's actual humor is and if it
Yes.
lines up with yours. Because if it doesn't, yeah, there ain't gonna be a second date.
Definitely not. Maybe a kiss. But
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
First.
We have run out of time though, my friend.
Thank you guys
so
so
much
much.
for
Thank you.
yours. We will talk to you next week and hopefully talk about all of the upcoming shows that you have here this
Absolutely.
weekend. Go check him out. We'll have links
you.
to all of his tickets and all of his shows here in the next couple days and weeks for you guys to go check out if you're around the California
Timber
area.
tonight.
Timber tonight, free show, 7 o'clock. Come check it out.
Fantastic. Let's take a break. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. It is time to talk to our guy, Bolt Brady from Bolt Brady and his bro at the BLEAV Network. Hopefully win you guys some money here on this playoff weekend. As we have the Fiesta Bowl tonight, the Peach Bowl tomorrow,
and a slate of NFL games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to talk about. Sir, how are you?
Doing fantastic, guys. We're coming off a 5-2 week from last week, so looking good.
Fantastic. Now, obviously, we have plenty to talk about with these games coming up this weekend, but I have to get your thoughts on all the coaching changes that have happened in the NFL. Is there any coach out there that lost their job that you were surprised was let go?
I think it's going to be tough to replace Harbaugh, to be honest. I think a lot of times, it's easy to point the finger at someone, but who else is going to come in to replace them is sometimes what I don't think these organizations think about.
Right. And then when a guy's been there for 18 years and has set up a culture, I just think it was time. Obviously, he hasn't been anywhere close to a Super Bowl in quite some time, and you want to get there. Do you think that the vote of lack of confidence, rather, from the players was kind of the final straw, though, of why they said, you know what, we got to move on?
If that definitely was the case, then yes, I would understand that. But, it's kind of tough to tell through the media.
True. It's absolutely true. Because, I mean, I read that from multiple sources. And then Schefter goes on McAfee yesterday and says there were players that were crying in, saying goodbye to him. So there could have been some star players who came out and said, I don't have any faith in the guy. And then certain players who did. So
I'm personally hoping that they go with a defensive mind, whether it's Flores, Vance Joseph, somebody like that, to keep that. I mean, bring back that, angry Ravens defense type thing. When you think of Baltimore, that's what I always thought of.
Hopefully not lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last week of the season to miss a playoff berth too.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Let's talk about the Fiesta Bowl tonight and the Peach Bowl tomorrow. Do you got any bets for us in those games?
Oh, yeah. But I'm excited for those games. I mean, 5 nights or 5 days in a row of playoff games is awesome between the NFL and college. So tonight, these are 2 teams that I had looked at the beginning and thought they would go far. I do like Carson Beck. I think, we've talked about him on this show before. I do like his experience, but the thing that they have going against them is I think this Old Miss vibe and them all coming together, and they lose a couple more coaches. I like Old Miss plus the 3.5 tonight.
They are galvanizing after the Lane Kiffin hiring at LSU, firing at Ole Miss. But I keep going back and forth on this entire situation with the assistant coaches and just how ridiculous this can be. I get that obviously there's transfer portals and stuff happening, but do you think that them losing a good amount of these assistant coaches is going to make a difference for Ole Miss?
My sons were asking me the same question this morning, and I said, well, the 2 coordinators are still there, right? Yes. The offensive and defensive coordinator, and they're really the most important. The position coaches, don't get me wrong, those are important, but like on game night, they're really just helping with substitutions and whatnot. I think someone could fill in for them, and it shouldn't make too much of a difference.
True. That's a very good point. What do you got on this Big Ten matchup in the Peach Bowl?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just not impressed with Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon.
I'm not either. I don't get the hype.
Really
would be perfect as a Jet.
Game, he was a deer in the headlights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I think he's going to get overwhelmed, and I think Indiana's going to blow him.
Indiana's defense is probably the biggest well-kept secret of this team, because I know everybody talks about Mendoza and how good the offense is, but this defense is top 10. It really is. They could be walking into a championship, really.
And the average age on the team is 23 years old,
which is wild. I mean, again, the turnaround that it's going to take, though, for them to be successful again next year and the year after, though, is pretty rough, though, wouldn't you say?
Well, I'm sure they're like, hey, let's take it 1 year at a time here, Burdick.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's absolutely true. And you got a guy like Cignetti, so hopefully there's some good that will come out of all of this. Let's shift over to the NFL playoffs. Saturday, we got a matchup with the Carolina Panthers and the LA Rams, but the line is 10.5. Is that too much?
It seems like it, but this is one of the worst playoff teams ever to come in as far as point differential and also strength of schedule. So that's not a game. I'm typically not going to lay 10.5 points, but that's it seems like a lot, but these teams are going in 2 opposite directions here.
Yeah, I have to agree. I've said it on this show multiple times that I don't believe in Carolina, and they just kind of fell into a playoff berth. But it is what it is. Until the NFL changes the division rules, there's not much we can all do about it. What about the Green Bay and Chicago game that night?
I'm a little surprised, and just to clarify, I wouldn't make plays on these first two, but these are leans. I'm a little surprised that Green Bay is favored here on the road. They do have the playoff experience, which Caleb doesn't have. There's an interesting stat out there that since 2001, quarterbacks with experience in the playoffs versus quarterbacks that don't have experience are 20 and 40. So that doesn't set up well for Caleb when you don't have experience. But I would lean with Chicago here just because of the home field advantage.
Yeah, and without Micah Parsons on the defensive side, do you think the Packers really have enough to disrupt this Ben Johnson offense?
Not really. And you know, as I've said on this show several times this year, I'm not that high on Green Bay.
Yeah. No, same here. Again, at the beginning of the season, I kind of saw it, but as the season progressed, just it fizzled out. And until I see that drive again that I saw at the beginning of the year, I don't think they make any huge wins here. What do you got for us on Sunday and Monday?
Well, so the ones that I really like, I really like San Diego plus 3.5 against the Patriots. Again, you know, revert back to that stat that I just said with playoff experience. Obviously, Drake doesn't have it. Not to mention Herbert is 12-2 against the spread when he's getting 3 points or more. I think San Diego actually wins that ball game. And the game that I really, really like, let's go back to my boy Aaron, guys. And I know, Burdick, I heard you say you think they're going to get blown out.
I think they're going to get destroyed. I'm sorry.
But
I
like
don't believe much in this. I know this is why you bring Aaron in. I realize that this is why they signed him. But you're going against the top defense in the NFL and a defense that has made a living just wrecking shop on offenses. So I can't see Pittsburgh figuring them out.
Well, I'll give you that. But Aaron Rodgers, not only does he have playoff experience, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And the stat that always blows me away, Mike Tomlin, 12-1 straight up on Monday Night Football at home.
I forget about that stat. I really do. I'm just telling you, though, I think this is going to be 12-2. The secondary, the front seven, dude, there is no more complete defense in the NFL, in my opinion, than Houston.
They are a very good defense, but the Steelers' defense isn't too shabby either. And
they're hit and miss. They're hit and miss. But yeah, I can see it.
Out.
I could definitely see it. I mean, with the Houston offense, it's also hit and miss.
That is what's scary.
That should be a good game.
Yeah, that is what's scary to me.
But I'm going to bring up the two games you didn't mention on Sunday because I'm expecting two upsets. I'm going Jacksonville at home against the Bills, and I for some reason I think the 49ers are going to knock the Eagles out, man.
Well, so the 49ers-Eagles game, that's going to be a great game. I could see that going either way, but I'm going to disagree on the Jags. I think they're going down. I think what would be really interesting is if the Chargers and the Bills win and the Steelers win, and now the Steelers would have home field advantage through the playoffs. I mean, I'm counting them beating Denver. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. But I am going to go with the experience here on the quarterbacks. It makes a huge difference in the playoffs.
100%. The only thing that I kind of agree, or what's making me kind of agree with Sparky, is the defense of Jacksonville, though, and how good they are against the run. Them stopping James Cook, I think, could potentially be the reason why Buffalo ends up losing.
The recipe. That is the recipe.
But do you guys really have faith in Trevor Lawrence, though?
That is, yes, that's the other outlier that I'm throwing out there because, again, MVP-style season, I need to see Liam Cohen pull it together, though, in the playoffs because last time we saw him in the playoffs was the absolute collapse.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I'm a defensive guy, so I'm thinking Jacksonville's defense will at least keep Buffalo
within
on a leash,
distance. And
I think they pull it out, and I also think McDermott gets fired after that game.
Well, yeah, it probably wouldn't sit well for him if they do lose. You're right.
100%. Sir, thank you so much.
Well, we do have a couple.
We
have a couple questions. The first one says, can you ask Bolt what's the better play, over 52.5 or Ole Miss and plus 3.5?
Ooh, good question. I would, like I said, Ole Miss is a best bet for me, plus 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one says, good morning. Can you please ask Bolt what is a good winning percentage when betting on games so I know if I'm good or not?
This is a valid question.
That's an excellent question. I like where they're going with this, keeping track of things. So to be profitable, you have to hit 52.4%. excuse me, that probably surprises people a little bit, but it's very difficult to do. But once you start getting above that percentage and you start doing hundreds of games, yeah, it turns out to be, really profitable, but it's very difficult to do. So after 500 games, if you're hitting 53%, you're doing a good job.
Now, you're one of the top guys in the nation when it comes to this stuff. What's your win percentage?
Well, so this year, I always keep track of everything. So far on the show this year, we're 58%.
See, there we
Nice.
go. And we're right about the average then. I love that. Sir,
Well,
the last
actually,
one.
real quick, Bertie.
Oh.
So, because some people, I told friends this before, and I could do that, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead and track yourself for
Right.
500 games and see what your win percentage is. And I'm willing to bet that 90% of the people are going to be below 50%.
I believe it.
That's fair.
The last one says, where does Bolt think Harbaugh coaches next season?
Where? Wow. Well, I'm willing to bet that he's not going to go in the AFC, so he goes against his brother. So
Yeah.
somewhere in the NFC is what I would say.
I'm leaning on the Giants. I think they have a young team, and he might be a perfect fit. But I think you're right. I know Harbaugh, his brother came out yesterday and said the same thing. He said he'll be a coach next season. I'm just hoping it's in the NFC.
And they may need
Exactly.
that special kind of leadership out there in New York to keep up with everybody else, because it's within shooting distance with the Eagles. I'm not going to lie to you. They're not that bad. They really aren't. But, Bolt, thank you so much for your time, my friend. We really appreciate you. We will talk to you next week.
Take care, fellas.
Thank you, sir. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Final segment of the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. We are also streaming video live every single day on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Come join us. Like, share, and subscribe, all that type of good stuff.
Browns have already Browns have already reached out to Mike McDaniel on their head coaching vacancy.
Honestly, another spot that wouldn't be the worst thing for him, a young offense that he can mold into something, and with a quarterback that honestly would probably benefit from more of a spread-like offense. So we'll see what the heck the Browns end up going with. We'll see what happens. I personally think he'd be better off as an offensive coordinator, though. That's just me.
Yeah.
If you are looking to check out any of the fantastic football games this weekend, you can hear them right here on KGEO Sports Talk, starting on Saturday as the Rams head to Carolina to take on the Panthers at 1. The Packers then head to Chicago to take on the Bears at 5 o'clock. You can hear both of those right here on KGEO Sports Talk. And then on Sunday, all 3 of your NFL playoff games will be live right here, starting with the Bills headed to Jacksonville to take on the Jags at 9:30. Then the Niners headed to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles at 1:15, followed by the 5 o'clock game, which would be the Chargers headed to Foxborough to take on Drake May and the Patriots. And then obviously we'll have Monday's game as well, but we will be on the air before that one. So we'll talk about all of those games and Monday's game on Monday. Let's talk about the break in the whole Shedeur Sanders situation. They have arrested 3 men in a connection to the burglary of his home back in November 16th while he was visiting Baltimore, playing them out there. And there's still a 4th person out there that they are currently searching for. There is a warrant out for his arrest, but all 3 of these men have been identified as, I believe it's just 2 of the men who are actually burglaring their home, and then the one of them was the driver of the vehicle, the getaway vehicle, but they got away with over $200,000 worth of property from Shedeur's house in that day. And now hopefully Shedeur will at least get some sort of justice, although I'm sure most of that stuff will most likely be lost to the ether, which sucks, but it is what it is. I'm sure Shedeur Sanders isn't exactly hurting for money to replace a lot of that stuff.
Dirty scoundrels.
Absolutely. But again, highlights the facts that we've been saying for a long, long time here, which is these athletes need to find some sort of coverage in terms of security, especially if you got over $200,000 worth of stuff in your house. Shedeur, get an on-site security guard. Get something. I don't know. Dad should have taught you that years ago, to be completely honest. But at this point, I hope he takes this as a learning lesson. And most athletes now are going to take this as a lesson as well, especially with the past year of burglaries and strings of that have been picking up all around the country as these guys go away for long periods of time to play for their teams. Need something. Security or just increased police force. I have no idea what it is, but we'll figure it out as time goes on. Join us back here tomorrow, though, 7 to 9, as always, as we will talk about the Fiesta Bowl tonight. Miami taking on Ole Miss to see who will get a spot in the college football playoff final. Sparky, let's get out of here.